40% of players think the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC is too hard. I really didn't think I had to make a third video about this, but apparently the information isn't getting out to the player base. And while I do agree that if you get into the DLC and beeline it for the bosses without exploring the open world at all, you are going to get pounded into the dirt relentlessly. I am by no means a From Software elitist, and I am actually particularly bad at Souls games, so if I can find a way to make this DLC relatively easy, I firmly believe all of you can too. When you initially get into the DLC, your level does not matter. The enemies scale to your level in the DLC, and that is because there is a separate power scaling system. That's not to say that your levels don't matter and that leveling up later will not matter either. You just have to get leveled up in the DLC's power system for your levels to actually matter. There is a big pop-up when you collect one of these Scadutree Fragments that says that these increase your attack and defense within the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm is an alternate reality to the one that you played in before. The base Elden Ring game has a separate power level system, and the Shadow Realm has its own power level system. And this is incredibly important to understand if you want to enjoy your time within the DLC. This doesn't mean all of the effort that you put into your Elden Ring character is pointless. You just have to get leveled up within the power system in the Shadow Realm for all of that effort to shine through. Now, the only reason I am making this video is because I created this channel originally to help people find ways to enjoy games just a little bit more. And I know people spent $40 on this DLC and they are not enjoying it the way they anticipated. So I really do hope this video helps. And I have seen an endless stream of comments on my videos of people not understanding how my builds have higher attack power or more defense, and social media is inundated with so many people struggling to get through this DLC. So once you understand that the Shadow Realm is actually essentially a separate reality from the base game, we can start to see where the true important parts of the DLC are. If we go back to the round table hold, my current build shows an attack power of 562, and my defense and damage negations are pretty low at 44 for my physical damage reduction, and an average of about 25 for my magic damage reduction. That's with me sitting at level 173, but when I go to the Shadow Realm without doing anything, my attack power is now at 871, my physical damage reduction is at an average of 64, and my magic damage reduction is all the way up in the 50s now. This is a substantial increase. Now, I really cannot express this enough. If you are having any trouble in the DLC, go collect your Scadutree Fragments. It is the single most important item in the DLC, hands down. If you have already invested a ton of time leveling in this game, these Scadutree Fragments are going to be exponentially more beneficial for you as well. Because the enemies scale to your level, just leveling up isn't enough. But if you have a lot of levels already, every time you level up your Scadutree Blessing, it is a percentile increase. So if you already have high stats, the Scadutree Blessing is going to be exponentially more beneficial for you. And I believe the reason From Software did this is because they wanted to encourage world exploration over just grinding XP. I think because the base game had so many rune exploits, From Software really wanted to find a different way to provide people with power. And quite frankly, I think exploring this massive world that they created to get more powerful is way better than sitting on a cliff edge shooting a chicken for hours on end. With that being said, you can get to Scadutree Blessing 10 and higher without having fought any bosses in the game. Just getting to level 2 or 3 really isn't going to be enough to offset the damage these bosses are going to be doing, and I highly recommend getting to 8 or higher to really have an enjoyable experience. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you all the locations you need to be able to get to Scadutree Blessing level 10. This is going to set you up for success in the DLC, and quite frankly, if it doesn't, feel free to roast me in the comments below. And the best part exploring the world is you're going to find dungeons, weapons, side quests, all sorts of little exciting things that you might enjoy. So we're going to be starting from the initial site of grace that you get to once you zone in, and you can hop onto your horse here. And if we head directly down this way, we want to go down this path and then over to this location right here called the Church of Consolation. And at the very end of this road, you're going to find a church here. In front of this headless statue is going to be 2 Scadutree Fragments. Next, head to these Scorched Ruins and then just travel a little bit east to this location right here and kill the ghost creature with the pot over its head, which will drop a fragment. If you head head to the 3-path cross, there is a Mikola cross here, and every cross has a Scadutree fragment at it. You can pick up another fragment just east across the bridge in front of a statue right here. And then if you head into the Castle Ennis area and follow this path up, there's going to be another cross with a fragment here before you fight Renala. You can then head back down and then go through this tunnel and run up this road to the main gate cross for another fragment. You can then open up this gate here for the Belly Rat Tower, and you can run through this particular area, and you're going to eventually come across another cross with more fragments. From the main gate cross, you can travel south along this cliff edge here, and you're going to climb up the cliff edge and under this little mountain until you get to the Cliff Road terminus. Then you can travel a little bit more this way to kill another one of those ghost creatures with a pot on their head to collect another fragment. If you have not beat Renala yet, we can actually bypass this boss fight. If you go back down to the castle front, you're going to want to follow this road all the way down this way. Then you're going to take this left turn here through this little area here to another cross. Then you can fast travel back to the castle front. And then from castle front, you're going to run out of this. You're not going to follow the road this time. You're going to head down south. And then at this fork in the road, you're going to turn left down through here. And as you get to this little swampy area, you're going to see this shack on the distance where you need to run to. Just right here, there's going to be an object that you can smash in a little circle that'll unlock an updraft for you to be able to hop your way up to behind the Fort of Reprimand. From here, all you need to do is just run right out of this area. Unless you want to spend some time exploring here, you absolutely can. We're just going to bypass this one creature right here and hop down. Just start rolling in case he does aggro you and spew fire down into that little hole. And you're going to run up these stairs, hop over this, and you're going to pick up another Site of Grace right here. Now from this Site of Grace, you can just hop right out this way and then go out the front door. And then you can just go right out the front door, and there's going to be another Site of Grace that you can pick up on that little spot right there. Now if you go from this site, if you go from the Morth Highway south, you're going to travel up this road right here and around to this little corner where there's going to be this updraft that you can jump up. And then after getting to this top area, you're just going to travel around this area to another cross for a fragment. You can now freely explore this area. You're going to get another fragment at this cross here at the Morth Ruins. If you travel a little bit east, there's going to be a statue here where you can grab another fragment. Then you can travel up to this cross here at the High Road Cross, which is just after the Renala fight, but you can get here now if you haven't defeated Renala with this bypass. Then you can run up this road. There's going to be a statue here with another fragment just on this little road right here. Just avoid this big fire boy. And then if you go left to the Church of Crusade, there is an invasion here, but you can just run through this area to the statue to pick up 2 fragments at this location. Then from the Morth Ruins, if you run north into this water area, there's going to be another statue here with another fragment. Castle Front Site of Grace. And then from here, we are going to head south down this road right here. You shouldn't have to fight anything along this path. Now, as you get into the fork in the road, you're going to want to take the left fork going even further down this path. Once you get down into the swampy area, you're going to hug the left wall here, avoiding all of these plants along the way. You're going to hop down and then keep hugging this left wall because this is going to get you deeper down. Now, as you get down into this area, you're going to see a big crab. You're going to avoid the crab, and you're going to turn left into this little hole right here next to this giant plant. Now, we're just going to run through here. The way to get up is just right through here on the left-hand side. Then you're just going to keep hopping through. Now, as you near the exit of this particular area, you can actually pick up an item here to level up your summons in this zone. So go ahead and grab that. And there's also a Site of Grace that you can grab right here. So essentially, we've gone from Castle Front. Now, from the Site of Grace, we are going to continue down this river. So we are going to turn left into this little waterfall right here, where we kind of have to hop our way through this particular pathway. So we're just going to hop our way through. You can also get down into the bottom here too as well if you so desire. You're going to jump across. And then we are going to avoid all of these stupid little birds along this path. We're going to hug the left wall again to be able to get across here. You can't get across on the right-hand side. And we are going to speed through here. Avoid all of this. There's a Somber Stone you can pick up right there, but you might get massacred by those birds. It's not really worth it, especially if you have infinite Somber Stones by now. And we are getting much closer now. Now we got to do a couple more hops to be able to get down here. We can hop, hop, and there's a Site of Grace that we can pick up right here. Now from this Site of Grace, we're going to hug the right wall to be able to get down even lower into this area. We're going to go down here. And there should be just a little pathway that we can follow all the way down to the bottom. Then we're going to cross that bridge and get to the other side. So now we've made it to almost the bottom-most area of the Shadow Realm. Now once you get down into this area, all you gotta do is just go across the river, avoid the big dude that's right here, and you're gonna go through this little tunnel until you get to the Cerulean Coast Site of Grace. Now from the Cerulean Coast, you're just gonna follow this path right along this edge here until you get to the Cerulean Coast West. This cave can be easy to miss, but it's right here on the right. There is a creature inside, but there's going to be a body here you can loot another fragment from. Then from here, you're just going to run along this path. You're going to pass this dragon down this road and then up to this cross right here for another fragment. Now head back to the Morth Ruins, and then you're going to run to this location right here, where you're going to find this dilapidated church, and you can climb down into this hole. You're then going to follow the relatively straightforward path through this hole to be able to get to the Bonnie Village. There is going to be another fragment that you can get inside of here as well. Then you're going to run out of this area across the bridges, and you're going to head all the way north to the Church District High Road. Then you continue running north until you get to the Church District entrance. This is the back way into the Shadowkeep where you can bypass the boss. You need to hop onto this roof. Don't fall into that water or you will die. Then you're going to follow the roof around, and we just kind of avoid everything in this area. There are a couple strong enemies here. You're going to hop right across this. Make sure you sprint and jump. If you're not sprinting and jumping, you could very well fall into the water. You're going to jump up these little edges right here. You're going to hop across this. And then we're going to go onto this roof. Now stick to the bottom area of this roof because you can avoid one of the enemies that are on the right side. We're going to run across this until we get to this other roof right here. We're going to skirt around this, and you need to sprint and jump across this or you're going to have a very bad time with that thing right down there. It's going to jump up into here, then we're going to jump onto this roof, and we are going to then fall right down onto here. If you took any damage like I did, let's go ahead and pop a potion because we are going to have to potentially fight something here. We're going to hop down into here, and then we're going to run forward. There's going to be this guy in these red robes. These guys are a little bit of a pain if you've never fought them before. They do quite a bit of damage, but just take this bad boy out, and then on the right is going to be this room. Now there is a Scadutree Fragment right there on that hand. I think we can actually jump onto that without draining this tunnel. There is a way for you to drain the Shadowkeep. Let's hop across. Yeah, now when you do successfully make the jump, just slowly walk down to this hand to pick up a fragment. Now head back out of this room from where we came from. Then we are going to run across this little path here. If you want to drain the water in this area, you can do it now. It's pretty simple. We're just going to run past this little guy right here. We're going to run up these steps. And then we just got to go to that ladder that's ahead of us. Make sure not to fall into these little holes. There's a lot of bats around here as well. Once you climb up the ladder, you're going to see this that you can interact with. Just push this lever and you will drain the water in this area. Now from here, you can just head back the way we came. You're going to run past all of these bats again, and then you're going to turn right along this path where we came from. And then you're going to take a left, and you're going to continue down this pathway until we see another open room that we can go to the left in. So we're going to turn left here, and then we are going to roll right past this guy. There is going to be an elevator here that you can take up. Once you get to the top of the elevator, there is going to be a Site of Grace here, which is called the Storehouse back section. Then you just need to run forward to this ladder, which is quite a climb up. Once you get to the top of this ladder, you can ignore all the enemies in this area. They will leave you alone as long as you don't attack them. You're going to run up these stairs. And then once we see this bookshelf, we are going to run to the end of the bookshelf. Then we are going to turn right. And there is going to be a little hole in this wall that we can then jump through. We're just going to jump through this. We're going to then follow this path up and around the keep. At the top of this is going to be another Site of Grace. This is the Storehouse Loft. Then take this elevator up. Now this area is going to have a bunch of bats in it as well, but just follow this path along here. We're going to then turn right across this. There's going to be a ladder on the other side that we are going to take. This ladder is going to take us up a little bit more. At the top of this, we want to get down onto that little cog over there. So we're going to run around this little corner. We're going to then hop down basically directly onto this bat, jump onto this little edge, and then we're going to jump directly down here, where we are going to find 2 more elevators. So just hop on this elevator down. And then continue forward all the way down to another elevator that's going to be right there. This will take you to the Shadowkeep back gate. And if you turn into this room, there is going to be a Scadutree Fragment, and this statue will be closed. If you have the Oh Mother gesture, you can actually open this up. You're going to use the gesture in front of this statue. and that'll allow you to get to this area right here, which you'll use for a different quest line. You can actually find this emote outside of the Bonnie village. If you run across this area, you're going to see a little statue here. Just pick up the emote right there. Now this should get you to Scadutree Blessing level 9 or higher, which is going to drastically increase your damage and survivability in the Shadow Realm. Now if you're feeling frisky, you can explore more of the Shadow Keep until you get to the West Rampart, all the way out to the Viaduct Minor Tower, where you can explore this whole area to be able to get more Scadutree Fragments without actually having to fight anything. You can also get down to the Castle Watering Hole from the Shadow Keep, which you can then run across. There's going to be a Scadutree Fragment at the bottom of this waterfall, but to get down to the bottom, you're going to have to run across this edge here, hop across this side, follow this path all the way down over here to this Recluse River downstream, where you're going to find these little paths that you can hop down. If you go down this way, there's 2 hippos that you can kill here for 2 more Scadutree Fragments. And then if you can find a way up this river, you can pick up this one at the bottom of the waterfall. Just a couple of little extra bonuses if you so desire, but I do hope this all helps you enjoy the DLC a bit more. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.